Swashrayam cha sadasatvilakshanam Nishkalam nirupamanavadiyat Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani Brahma tattvamasi bhavayatmani. That which is the substratum of the universe and its various aspects, which are due to delusion, and which is its own support, and which is other than gross or subtle, and it has no parts, and it is truly incomparable. That Brahman thou art. Please meditate on this in your mind.
Anyone has any questions or doubt? Yes, Maya. Hello. Namaste.
Good evening, Sanjay.
Good evening. Good evening.
I have a confusion about I thought. So Bhagavan says, on the waking up from the sleep, there is an I thought, which leads to all thoughts. Is this I thought Bhagavan refers to is the mind body or the self, the higher self? I try to focus, but before that the thoughts have come in already. I'm struggling with that.
Look, the I thought is the one thought which we call it ego or ahankar. And it is not a thought, I should say. It is more like a feeling. Ownership of the body, mind, and the word, and now I am this body and then word separate to me, and now let's plan our day, do this is happening. All thoughts are reporting to ego only. All thoughts are reporting to that I, that small I. So it's not self. It is not pure self. So when Bhagavan, look, I don't know from where you're quoting this, but in all honesty, what I can say is that the first thought which appears when we wake up is I thought, that ahankar, that ego, which takes its formation. And then chain of thoughts report only to that I only. Rather than I would say it as a thought, I would say it is as a feeling that I am this body mind. And if we scrutinize that, then we go beyond it. So that's what I would say about it,
The words who am I is not working for me. I like to work on where am I. That seems to work for me. Not who am I, but where am I in this? Am I localized somewhere? Is there a place where I am? Who am I? I go to a blank.
Just leave it there, blank. Why you want to create a form when you are formless? Why you want to call it a name when you are nameless? Just leave it at blank and let the blank does whatever it has to do for you, you know. This is what the mind says. Mind calls it blank. This is the problem, you know. And then because we are associated with mind all the time, we don't know how to dissociate. When the mind says it's blank, who is saying it's blank? Mind only says it's blank. Who is saying you are unrealized? Mind says I am unrealized. This mind will always be unrealized. That's why it is called as mind. If this simple thing we understand, then we can dissociate ourselves from all this mind game. I think the best teaching in this field is of Bhagavan, because he keeps telling one thing, that more you try to explain it by words, you confuse people. Because silence, your inner silence is that's all. So Bhagavan, abiding in silence, just stayed silence. Silence was his teaching. Who am I is his secondary or third teaching, you know. His teaching is just be, keep quiet, chumma yeru, just not externally but internally. Because this internal dialogue of thoughts is reporting to whom? To me. Me? Who am I? If you ask this question really deeply, it will take you to pure self. When it will take you there, there will be no answer except silence and bliss. Look, I have to explain this very clearly, that self, what we are looking for, no one has ever found outside, at a place, in a person, in a thing, as an object. You can never ever, whatever you do, how much efforts you put, you cannot. So that means that is for sure. That is next to impossible to find outside. Now I will say, look within. Now you look within. Within you look and you find emotions and feelings and thoughts and story and attachments and all these things. I would say still look within, because this is all at the surface. When you keep going, that is why, remember one of the words of Bhagavan, dive deep within, dive deep. Because at the surface it is all this mind game, mind gadgets like wave on the surface where we are floating all the time. Let it be, let thoughts be, let whatever it be. Don't associate with anything. Thoughts are approaching from all directions, criticizing, analyzing, liking, disliking, planning, super planning, regretting. It's like chaotic. That's okay, just leave it. Like, you go to I give this example, you go to a noisy restaurant and there's a lot of noise. Let it be. You just find silence in this noise within you. When your attention is on silence, you will start hearing this silence. You will start experiencing this silence. And this noise will soon be extinct. Some people, they live in noisy environment all the time. They live on a main road, on a cross-section of road, in a busy bazaar. A lot of people in India, there's a shopping complex downstairs and they live upstairs. So very crowded, very noisy. But they talk, they eat, they pass exams, they do everything, they live all their life there. But if you go and you stay for one night, you will start complaining. Even at Ramana Ashram, I remember I arranged someone to stay, and then he came back and complained to me, oh, it was too noisy, Noise in your head, which always have frequency with the noise of the lorries going through the road, If you go with noise, you will get noise. If you go with silence, openness to silence, devotee of silence, you will get silence. So look towards that within you only. You say, who am I or where am I? Doesn't matter. You don't have to repeat it as a mantra. It is not even asking like, who am I? You just keep going within. The first step is we are always at ego, that I, which is at the receiving. Normal person can be there. Everyone is there. Even a person who is not a spiritual can also be there, where he can watch that how his ego plays and survives and acts too smart and what it does. Anyone who is sharp enough can notice it. But we don't have to end there. You have to give up association with all that, this middleman. And when you go further in, with right understanding, with devotion, with humbleness, with practice, with these right efforts, you will find that you will get adjusted into this beingness which is impersonal. It is in everyone. So when you go within, you will get it. There is no doubt that you will miss it. You can miss it. You might not be knowing it because you're playing at a very superficial level and in the ego only. Maybe you understand intellectually and you don't know where it is. You follow the silence in this groping darkness of egoistic attitude, egoism. You just look for that silence within. You can say, a lot of people say to me, there is blankness, there is emptiness, there is nothingness. Who is saying that? Only mind. Mind has no clue. For mind, it is boring also. For mind, it's waste of time. But if you have faith, but here you go without thoughts, without any intention, just with faith. It is as if you are watching a page and the page letters are written and your attention is on the blankness of page. What will happen? If you focus and focus, then you cannot read any word. There's just blankness stays. Because it is our natural tendency on a page filled with words, we read words. We don't look into the blankness. But if I say you start looking the other way, you can start noticing it. When we go deep within our own self and realize the truth within, that awareness, indescribable, standing on its own support, then death can never touch you. Because death can touch which is changing, which is transient, which it can kill. But awareness is beyond death. So find that. Another very important thing happens as you start realizing this self and it unfolds. Now, the self start unfolding within, but then you start noticing all these names and forms start disappearing. I'm telling you the truth. The word, what you see from the ego mode, it starts melting away as if illusion is disappearing. It's not that the people are seen in forms, but for you, it is only awareness flowing in all directions, in all things, in all beings. Now there is nothing living or non-living, it is all living, full of awareness. Yes, but that thing or being can be completely in darkness about self. But it doesn't matter to a jnani, the one who has seen the self within, he is seeing self everywhere. Because you can either have that wheel in front of you through which you only see people and others and situations and your own personal issues. The moment you realize self, all this personal, individual, egoistic construct melts away. Melts away not in you, but melts away for everything, in everyone. Then everyone is a jnani. Everyone is respectable and reverent. Even a devil, because actually that is also the same as you, no difference, except it is in deep ignorance of its own. Maybe that is that person's choice. He is just playing this joke for too long, maybe. He wants to be ignorant for a while. But it doesn't affect self-realized being, because for it is everything is self-realized. There is no one which is not self-realized, because self is illuminating. That is the source of all forms moving, coming, going. So that importance to which forms we were giving before, it goes away, because there is no importance to the form in which I was bound before. So when this bondage goes, all the bondages goes. Then there is no boundary in this self, that itself ends with me or my family or my friends or in satsang or in day or at night or in sleep or in... There is no boundary. It is beyond space. And it is not that it will be only a satsang time and then you will be a personal person. It is beyond time and beyond space. It is not even in the domain of time and space. This all name and form and this play going on is in the time and space. When Bhagavan says do disinterested action, there is a very, very deep meaning of it. Or even any scripture says about what to do, they tell you to do what you will know when you are realized. You will be disinterested. So if you start behaving as if you are realized, what will happen? Then you get those traits and you get into awareness mode from this ego mode. You just transcend very smoothly, very easily. Like so many people get stuck up in this question of free will and destiny. All the time people say this is right and that is wrong, but you just look, who is this for whom the free will is? No one. And for whom is this destiny? No one. Then this question, this doubt drops the moment you know what you are. You are not an individual. Free will and destiny are the questions coming from the ego for the ego. When the ego dissolves, there is nothing. If you are the self of self, then where you end and the other begins. Then whose destiny is your destiny? This body's destiny, or Maya's destiny, or Mira's destiny? Whose destiny? Everyone's is your own, no? When that awareness is you, then where you will put the boundary that this is my destiny, this body's destiny is my destiny, or free will, or this free will of this one is my free will. Where would you end? Don't worry about questioning who am I, where am I. Don't even ask this question. No need. Just sit in your own silence and you will get it. You should be determined to know that. That's all. If you're mad about it, and day and night you are mad about it, you will get it. In Hindi, there is a saying, people who speak Hindi might have definitely heard it, खोजो तो भगवान भी मिल जाते हैं, which means if you search, even you can find God. Why do they say this? Because, yes, when you look, you will get it. It is the closest to you. It is you actually, but you have created your own image and watching from there, from a distance. No need to keep that distance. Best sadhana is that you stay where you have to reach. Accept that you are that. That's all. And then see what happens. Then all these pulls will come, but just be. Surrender. I don't know how many people understand surrender. Surrender looks like weakness, but surrender is the strength. More you surrender, more you become powerful. Because what we surrender is our meanness, our selfishness, our egoistic attitudes, our greed. That is what surrender is. We surrender only ego. We don't surrender the pure gold. When we surrender all the rubbish, what is left is pure gold. And people think surrender is such a big thing. How can I surrender? Who wants your surrender? Only this is the God who accepts all your garbage which you surrender. What are you surrendering? What do you have to surrender? Selfishness, greed, fear, anger, jealousy. And you surrender and you think you are great. And then people surrender only this much and then they say, oh, now I've surrendered, but still I'm not self-realized. Surrender should be complete. And when the surrender is complete, then what is left is that. But you cannot claim that you are that. Because the one who wants to claim, who wants to achieve, that has to finish completely. That has to disappear. So there is no self-realized person in the world. Remember this. Person can never be self-realized. Person is the problem. So person has to go away. Thank you, thank you. Madhavi, want to ask something?
Yeah. Firstly, thank you so much, Sanjay, for the satsang.
Thank you.
All the knowledge I'm receiving here. My question was exactly, where you're talking about surrender and the person has to go. So, how much ever I try, or I have a doubt if I can ever not be a person totally, because I still see that I prefer, if there is a choice, I prefer good things to myself rather than others. And I would still love my family more than everybody else. So how can I ever overcome that? Can I ever love all the children the same as my children? So, and unless if I come to that state, people say that you have to get rid of all vasanas and all of these qualities to attain that godliness. But I find it, I don't know if I can ever get there. So will I be stuck here forever? Or, that's my question.
Yeah, look, I think we give too much importance to what a jnani is or jnani should be. Best is to stick to your practice of looking within and trying to find what it is. Be inquisitive about it with all your vasanas and attachments and whatever it is. Just because you are not that at all. Even now when you think like that, you are that Satchitananda. You are that existence, consciousness, bliss. Nitya Shuddha Buddha. You are that even now. But you are talking from your mind. And you are talking as an advocate of this mind, which is nothing but thoughts. This is a thought only that I will not be because I am like this and I am attached. But understand, the one who knows that these are all the things, if he knows that these are the issues, then he can sort out the issues. And the best way to sort out is look within. Go into that observer. Even when the body is stealing or body wants the best toast or whatever, you see how it is doing. Let it do. How long can it do? Because remember, in that witnessing, this body will start behaving correctly. Understand this truth. Even when you are alone, when there is no one there and you have to distribute things among 10 people, the moment you take the best lot, and if you are in that observer mode, that impersonal, you cannot, it will not allow, something will happen to the body, it will be just in shame. It cannot do that. Understand the power of that Lord, not your power. You have no power. Ego has no power. Ego can only play tricks. But if you go into that awareness, if you become devotee of that, that will make sure that you behave what the scriptures say. Believe me, you don't have to fix anything. You just have to know that. That's all. So don't worry. attachment to kids. That's normal for any female, or whatever you are saying is very true for almost everyone. But you stay in your sadhana, stay in your practice as an observer, as a watchful witness to things. And what will happen? Slowly and gradually there will be big transformation, whether you know it or not, but everyone will understand that you are not the same Madhvi which was there a couple of years ago. You don't underestimate power of self. It is that pure Shiva, that pure awareness. When it wants you, it will make you that only. And it will get rid of all impurities, what you think. Because what you are saying is just what the mind is telling you, what thoughts coming to you, what you see behavior of the body. But all this behavior will change. The scriptures say the day a person takes this intention to be self-realized, and they say he's the most evil person in this world, you should treat him as Buddha. Not the Gautam Buddha, but Buddha means self-realized. The moment he decides that he will take this path, from that day you should take him as a self-realized. The scriptures are very strong about it. Because once you have put your head in tiger's mouth, you will be finished. Only thing is just have devotion and faith. It will do its job for you. You don't have to worry. Never ever say that I can't do it, because this I who can't do it definitely can't do it, but you are not that I. You are only a reflection which is talking. More you go deeper within your own awareness, actions of the body will not give you any pleasure. It will not give you any credit even for good things. It will also not make you shameful for any bad act. Because there will be no ownership. I don't want to name a very famous personality. I was reading a biography of him. He's one of the most revered in recent time. And reading this, I found that he was one of the best persons you can ever come across in this world. But I also realized he was full of ego. So don't think that good people don't have ego. Good people also have a lot of ego, because ego is the driving force to keep a good face in this world, so people appreciate me. So don't try to correct this person, just leave this person. Practice to be that awareness. Whenever this type of thought comes, just observe it. But don't believe on this thought. Thank you. Swami Narayan?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Hello, Sanjay ji.
Hello, namaskar. Namaskar. Do you want to switch on your video?
Yes, sir. Sure. 1 second, Sanjay. Start video. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. You are able to see me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see Ramana Maharishi photo also is there. This is my working room. Yes, I will directly come to my question. I am not an atheist, so my question is purely I am not able to conclude it. That is the intention. Okay. So I fully understand I am doing a self-inquiry, everything, no. But the thing is, outside world you cannot restrain do the activities. I'm 30 days like I have a family. I'm running it office. No, I need to take a decision. But the decision, any decision you are taking, for example, even a worst case, you are swimming a coin, head and tail, you are taking some decision. That toss and the effect is again and again making you to go behind that. Okay. So that circle of toss and the effect, okay, whether it's a good or bad, okay, that like a boomerang, anything you do in the outer world, it is coming back. So, positive, good. So, for example, I need to send one email to senior management because I'm seeing one process improvement. Whether I need to do that or I need to leave, no. As per Bhagavan, go and focus, do the self-inquiry, that the world will be taken care of by the Supreme God, as he said. So, I have to draw that limit because as per Maharishi, anything going to happen is going to happen. Anything not going to happen is going to happen. I totally agree with that. But what is my role? What is this mind is not original. Everything I can intelligently able to understand. But in the real time, where to draw the line? Hope I'm communicating my question. This is where I don't know where to draw the line. It is keep on going on. For example, one of the theft happened. Whether I need to leave it or go to the police station. If I go to the police station, I need to go to spend enormous time. Similarly, one of my tenant is having a problem. And another side, similarly, joyous of the situations are coming. And I'm getting an offer to have a more in the salary, but more responsibility, more work. Whether I need to take the job, otherwise a boss. Already God has given you enough. Go and focus on the spiritual line. So this is where if you can able to share the pointer, it will be very helpful. Sanjay.
You have asked the whole life of a person. And I'll tell you the answer is very easy, very simple. If you really want to know and you want to hear the honest answer, anything what happens in life, if you don't put yourself as first but put yourself as last, that is the best decision you can take. If you put the person as the first, then it's all, because all your talks about my theft at home, my promotion, my this, my, everything is about this my. If you put this my at the end and then take a decision, that will be the best decision. Then it will never arise that what the decision should be. And one thing I want to tell you, you are out of 100 problems, 99 you don't have to even think about it, because it is just that ego which makes it so hard to look into everything. So if we want to stay at the ego level and take all the decisions for self, which is the small self, and then start thinking that I am that greater self, it is deceiving yourself. Because whatever said and done, if you follow Bhagwan's path and you say destiny and free will, then why there will be so much of confusion whether you have to decide this or you have to decide that? Who is confused? It is only ego which is confused. It is only mind which says one thing and then other thing, and sometimes it says 10 different things. And look, if you look deeply, all these are just mere thoughts, completely useless, which gives you choice. Look, this is in your plate. You can do this, you can do this, you can do that. Why don't you send this email? Why don't you do like this? Why this choice and this multiple answers to questions, they all come when the ego is in full control, full power. Everything is coming from that. It is like heads of Ravana. Not 10 heads, but I would say 100 heads. But the moment you start abiding in awareness, most of these things, even the things which you think most important, will dissolve. It might be important maybe for your friend, for relative, for family, that you're missing this, you have lost this money or whatever, but you will have no clue about it. You are in your utmost bliss. If you want an example, I can give from Bhagwan's life. Bhagwan used to stay in Skanda ashram. He just came to visit where his mother Samadhi was. And he just decided to stay there for a couple of days. Not just because of any reason, but just, and then someone said, everything, whatever in the Skanda ashrams, some thieves have taken away everything. He said, look, that's so good, now I will just stay here. This is that pure awareness. It has no doubt whether I should go there, should I bring my utensils. And he is in bliss, perfect bliss, everything gone. You are talking about whether to report to police about your theft. Thieves came to Bhagwan's place and they beat up Bhagwan, they took away stuff. And before they were leaving, Bhagwan said, we have some food, why don't you have some food and then leave? And then the local police actually grabbed those people and they brought it to Bhagwan and asked whether these are the people. He said, I don't know. I don't know. What it signifies only one thing. He was never acting from the ego. Not me, 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 me. My life, my kid, my family, my job, my property, my possession. If we stay at that, and from where we want to know Brahman, we will be always be in Brahm, not Brahman, but in Brahm, in illusion always. So we have to do practice to that level where even a thought like this will not come to us. What is next? What is that? The first excuse with all sansari people who want to be seeker is, I am a family man or a woman. I have kids. I have this. I have to do this. Like we compromise life just because we have a family. Bhagwan Ram had a family. He compromised his principles. Krishna was a family man. Ramakrishna Paramhans was married. We have so many people who were grastas, householders. So the thing is that there is no excuse. You can't give discount. We can't bring the bar lower because we are grasta, family men. So what can we do? Let's sab chalta hai, or we can do something like this. This is the biggest issue in our own realization. Because the mind gives us all sorts of excuses because everyone is doing the same. And we say this is the way the world is. But Ram lived in this world. Meera lived in this world. Tulsidas lived in this world. Raman Maharshi lived in this world. All people lived in this world. All realized beings. But all the time their attention was on that self. Even if you leave your family, we still have a body which needs survival. In Bhagwan's time, Bhagwan was bones once. The food was not coming to him. If it used to come, he used to eat. If the food is not there, he was not eating. You read talks with Bhagwan so many times. People used to come to visit Bhagwan and Bhagwan used to say, look, it's the lunch time. We don't have, but you go to city and eat. Because that was all, I think, forest. There was nothing there to eat. So Bhagwan used to say, you go and eat and then come and we'll talk again. He never said, when you go to the restaurant, bring something for me as well, You can never trust ego. If you live in ego and you want to achieve something of that level, ego is the obstacle. Form is the obstacle. Even saying I am the body is the obstacle. You don't have to kill the body, you have to finish the story within you. Externally, you might be still grasta, family, body, acting, working, maybe earning, maybe eating a typical type of food which is in your culture or family. But you know you are nothing, none of these. You have to realize no one else. What word which always troubles all seekers is coming from your own projection. It's your own word. It's coming from your own mind. When you transcend mind, then you know that the mind has no effect. It's like you're watching movie in the broad daylight. The movie, hardly you see movie. But before we take a step in, we have so many doubts. Mind says, what are you doing? First try to sort out these things. Mind is your friend when you stay on worldly path, but mind becomes your biggest enemy when you want to free from it. It is like a antiviral program I downloaded once. I think it just came along with something. And I thought it is useful, but someone said it's bad, it's not good, you should get rid of it. I got an IT guy, he could not get out of the system. It just stayed. It is so hard to get rid of this ego once it's there, you know. We have lived so long. It knows how to keep us in the grip. The biggest is it plays the emotional card. What about my family? What about the job? What about the house? Seeker has to only listen to the silence within and try to find answer in that silence and be with that silence. And if you believe in what the destiny has to play, then destiny will take all decisions for you. Why you worry? What Krishna said so clearly in Bhagavad Gita, that you only remember me, you surrender to me, I will take all your responsibilities on my shoulder, I will deliver it to you. But first thing first, complete surrender. The one with complete surrender will never ask, what should I say, what should I do? The one who has surrendered has surrendered. Whatever intuitively something will happen, it will happen, or whatever has to happen. There is no dilemma. I know people living always in mind. They will tell you they will catch up with you today at this time. Then they say, oh look, I can't come, and they will make some stupid excuse. And then they will cook a story, lie after lie for something just petty. That is what the mind is. Ego always looks into benefit. What can I gain? What can I get from it? Even these free satsangs which goes on YouTube, people comments that this man is earning money out of these satsangs. What money? There is no money. We have not put any money. Not even one single dollar. While putting these satsangs, there is a few $100 a month cost. But people can say anything. Someone has pointed that this Ramana Ashram has sent agents and they are getting money for ashram. Ramana Ashram has not asked one single dollar from me anytime. People can say anything. Because you know what people are? People are full of ego, and ego only thinks everything is about money, about business, about personal gains. There cannot be anything which is free, which is for everyone, which is just for love. Because if you want to touch that love within you, you have to leave what you are. You have to give up your friendship with ego. You have to finish it. Then only the true love will come. Otherwise, everything is a business transaction. Stop asking questions at a superficial level. Take a dive deep. Lose some money. Sacrifice something. Let 10 people say, you are the idiot, you are of no use, you don't know how to work in company. Take all that filth and see what happens, whether Krishna comes to save you or not. But at least have courage to take that step. Why to take a lukewarm approach and stay just there and hold on to everything and then asking Krishna to help? He said, first complete surrender, then I will help you. So do the first thing first. Let whatever happens. But this is the thing, ego holds everything so tight. I don't know who understands this. Path of self-realization is easiest, simplest, direct, and readily achievable by any human being. And there is no sacrifice in it. What sacrifice? Tell me what sacrifice? Death of the body can be the biggest sacrifice? Okay, look, everyone eats food every day, isn't it? Why we eat food? To keep body alive. But if you keep eating food, can you keep the body alive forever? No, one day it will die. So that means food is not equal to keeping the body alive. One day it will finish. When I say food, food is everything. Shelter, security, whatever we call it, One day if you don't get food, what will happen? Body will die. Is it a big thing? One day it will die anyway. See from that point, what is really important? Is that important? What will happen if you surrender? Let's say your all decisions goes wrong, then what will happen? The house will be gone, the kids will leave, the family will leave, you will be a beggar on the street. Then what? Now you are at the level of Bhagavan. He used to beg on roads and used to feel like a king. Then what will happen? Tell me. But you can say Bhagavan was lucky, he used to get food maybe once every 3-4 days. This is what this ego keeps our old habits alive. The moment you leave dependence on your own mind, you become independent. Independent doesn't mean that your dependence on people is not there. Your dependence on people will always be there when you are holding on to your ego, your mind. The one who wants freedom, he has to be free from the mind. Then it is real freedom. Very simple truth. All these thoughts which comes to us keeps us as a person. And if you can have a good stroke, just defensively, just let them come, but you're not playing with it. What will happen? Nothing will happen. And if you really believe in Bhagwan, that whatever destiny has to provide you, then whatever comes, just accept that it is destiny. Destiny has given me this. I accept it full-heartedly. Then also it is okay. I'll tell you, the one who is into self-realization is never at loss. The reason, because he's not asking for anything. Even if he gets this much, he's happy. He is blissful because there is no asking. He has not put any his own demands to absolute, that you give me this much. I met this guy who said everything in my life is good except one big thing, which is fear. I'm very fearful. And I said, what is the fear? He said, I was from a very poor family and now I have made very good money and I'm quite rich. Now I have fear of losing this money. And I said, look, what will happen? Maximum you will be back where you are. He said, no, I never want to be in that state again. And he said, because of that, I have sleepless nights. And he started crying when he had no money. He used to sleep well, actually, though he was always looking for money. So it's not that money gives you everything. Sometimes it takes away very important things like your sleep. You don't always gain. You also lose in what you think you gain. But for a materialistic, worldly person, if it is a loss of money, a loss, I think any loss is not at all a loss to be in that eternal state. Because without knowing that eternal state, you will continue with this unending suffering of birth and death. Unending. So if you lose some money and you know the bliss of that supreme, you lose some relations, you get the bliss of supreme, or you lose everything, even this body, and get the bliss of supreme, I think it is a good business, even if you call it as a business. These all things which are talking to us in our mind talk still, we behave like an ego, we act like an ego. If we really want to follow Bhagwan, then we have to be like Bhagwan all the time. Otherwise, there is no point in keeping a Bhagwan's picture and saying, look, I have a Bhagwan's picture. Picture will not do anything. This is just hypocrisy, Once you give up whatever you think you are to that energy, believe me, it takes care the best possible way. Even the best chartered accountant, financial planner, and your buddhi and your intellect cannot do. All that money people gain, also gain all these crooked people around them, all selfish people. And they have to live with all those devils all the time. And they spend money with them, they live with them, they move with them. Satsang is a rarest of rare thing, especially in Kali Yuga. And if you ask me, I think that is what we have gained. These all people together, how many? 56. Pure bliss. While there is no dearth of entertainment, everywhere there is so many things are happening. Here nothing is happening. This is pure energy, pure Shiva in every one of us. We should all be devotee of Bhagwan and take up from Bhagwan's day-to-day life. His every movement is a teaching and blessing to all of us. And sometimes you wonder that energy lived in a body at some stage, though we were not lucky enough to see him. But at least we have heard everything. And he is the guiding principle. Even the satsang is his satsang. He is the guiding force in all of us. He will take the right decision. Or even if the ego thinks the decision is wrong, let it be. Who cares? Right and wrong and this and that, all is external to us and has no meaning. Like changing scene in front as images and forms. You are untouched by anything, untainted, uninvolved. Dive deep within you, where all identity is lost forever. No locus, no location, where you don't know where you start, where you end, where you don't know what is in, what is out. Where there are no strangers, where there is only love. Unconditional love. And bliss without a reason. and contented even if you lose what people call as possessions and important things. Because this contentment comes as infinite contentment. If you take out something out of this infinite, nothing happens. If you add, nothing happens. It is that infinity. It's not that I'm contented if only if it happens, but no ifs or buts, no conditioning. Infinite contentment, infinite bliss, and infinite love. Nothing can increase it and nothing can decrease it. No situation, no being, no thing. Be in that supreme state all the time. This is complete freedom. When we are independent of external circumstances, situations, when our happiness is not dependent on what we decide, how things happen outside in the world. Then most happiest person, blissful place is our own heart. When you start loving your own company the most, a person can never live alone. A person always needs company, is always dependent on others. So till you are a person, you can never be enlightened. An enlightened being is always alone because he is the only one. There is only one self. And he can stay alone because he is in his own bliss, supreme bliss. He is not looking for entertainments to be happy. Person is looking for entertainment of his sense organs. So he's dependent. He's in bondage. Jnani might be doing things but unconcerned, not deriving anything from it. It is just like disinterested actions, just coming because of prarabdha, happening. He is never leaving the seat of that observer, that uninvolved witness, unaffected by whatever happening or not happening. Because now there is no conditioning for happiness, so he is always happy. Abide in that supreme bliss. And never move from there. Apart from self, everything is illusion, changing, impermanent. cause of unending suffering. So be the devotee of self and be with self. Abide in self. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.